Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Richard Wright.
Richard Wright.
I'm actually
I'm
here
actually
doing the
doing the
welcoming for
welcoming
today's
for
session.
today's session.
I'm off. Oh,
Just waiting for my colleague there to wake up for this morning so we can get the session started. So yes, welcome everybody. I hope we are. It's nice and warm. The rest of the country is quite cool as these cold fronts are moving over. So winter is definitely on its way. Now, for today's session, we're going to be focusing on mobile first, the masterclass that's available on the ADOBH platform as well, the My Student Skills Hub. Now, just to let you know as well, the mobile first is also a co-curricular activity. So that means if you complete the online, how can I say, requirements, it will actually display on your record. So definitely it is one of those sessions that's worth doing now, because you can actually add this already to your CV after the session. Now, just to highlight as well, there's quite a few, how can I say, co-curricular activities we've got on the My Student Skills Hub. The other one will be the AI Masterclass that we will be doing tomorrow at 9:30 as well. So please join us for that one, as it proves to be quite exciting since I'll be doing it. But with no further ado, please, ask your questions in the chat. David will be looking at the chat as he goes along. So please ask your questions there. He will respond to you very quickly. There is a few pre-assessments and post-assessments to complete, and please also do the evaluation once it's available. But with that, I'll hand over to Mr. Harperset. Thank you, Mr. Harperset.
all right. Thank you, Richard. Much appreciated. And yes, we are sitting in the same venue. So it's actually a little bit tricky with the sound and the microphones. But anyway. All right. So welcome, guys. Thank you for joining us. This is going to be the last masterclass because now you guys will be hitting the exam period. So we definitely don't want to be bugging you during that time. But I guess this is very useful for you. So if you are going to be using your cell phone, especially like for invigilating app, I think there's quite a few things you're going to learn from us this morning that can definitely make your experience a bit better. Setting up your mobile device, checking how it's working, and of course using Microsoft 365 as well, which I think is actually quite fun. So guys, we're going to have some fun with this morning. All right, so we're not going to take for until 1 o'clock. We did book it initially for that time. But because it's a small group, I think we'll probably go a little bit quicker because I know you need to save your data as well. But of course, you need to be studying and finalizing your modules for the exams. Okay, so let's quickly have a look. So what we're going to tackle today, we're going to hit the mobile first design. So this is masterclass number 2. We're going to look at mobile learning. We're going to speak a little bit about Microsoft 365. And then we're going to do some practical applications of Microsoft 365. In the chat, I did post the YouTube link as well, if in case there are any sound issues. I know Teams sometimes can do that. So yeah, please do use the YouTube channel as well, just to make sure that you've got good quality, that you can see what we're doing. And then, of course, after the lesson, you guys can always go back and do it again and, yeah, that type of thing. All right, then we're also going to recap a mobile learning masterclass number 1. So we just want to show you guys what was covered in that course because this is masterclass number 2. You can do them in either order. It's not really a problem. And as Richard said, these are co-curricular. So it means if you complete it today, by tomorrow, you'd actually be able to go to My Admin under My UNISA, then click on Student Admin, and then you'll see in the drop-down list there is a option saying Co-Curricular Activities Report, and then you can actually see it from there. Once you download it or print from there, you will then get all the branding gets added to the report. So don't be too puzzled why it's just blank and empty. It's designed that way, so it's quicker for you guys to download, but then all the branding does get added on. So yeah, so don't panic about that one. All right, great stuff. So let's quickly then move along. So the first thing we would like you guys to do, if you haven't done this before, please make sure you log into the Adobe platform. So I'm going to use the chat and I'm going to post it there for you. So you guys can log in, so you can follow along as well. So even if you've just got one device, I know that's a little bit more tricky. You might just want to be watching, but if you do have a laptop and a smartphone that you are able to use two devices at the same time, then try to do the practicals with us as well, because you'll learn a lot more from the experience. Now, whenever we do training, guys, so there's the QR code as well. We always use the Adobe platform. So it's just a central point for you guys to really access all the materials and easy reference to all the co-curriculars as well, because I will show you practically in a few minutes, and then you guys can also see exactly where is everything kept. So what do? We just go to adolf.unisa.ac.za. You can even scan this QR code. It can also do it. And then you'll see the mobile masterclass number 2 is the one that we are going to be tackling today. There are lots of other courses you can do. Like Richard said, tomorrow we're doing AI. So if you've never done AI, or you want to learn more about AI, it's a very, very interesting one coming up tomorrow. So we will send out an SMS again as well. Okay, but for now, we're tackling mobile first. So let's check our mobile devices. Let's get them working as best as we can. So once you've logged in, then you will be able to, the very first time, it might just ask you to do a quick self-enroll. Okay, so that's perfectly normal. So you'll just click on continue, and then the system will want you to log in if you haven't logged in already. So what I mean by logging in, basically exactly the same way you log into my modules. You'll get your email address, your MyLife email address, you'll type in your password, and then you'll get your authentication, whichever route you've decided to use. Then you will be able to log into your account. Okay, and then authenticate yourself. So it's pretty much exactly like what you would actually do with any of the modules. Okay, the pre-assessment, before we continue, the pre-assessment, post-assessment, guys, this is really important for us. This helps us gauge, did you guys learn anything from the course? Have your skills improved? Do you feel more comfortable with the technology? And that's why we really, really would like you guys to actually post these things in the chat for us, or at least in the assessment for us. Let me see if I can quickly copy it for you to make it a bit easier. All right, so with the pre-assessment, there we go. You guys can complete this. It'll take a few seconds to do. I'm going to put in the chat. All right, and then from there, you will be able to tell us. So just gauges to see where you're at the beginning of the course and where you're at the end of the course. So that's quite important, because now we are building our masterclass number 3, which we're going to release this year still. And then, of course, we're going to bring in things that you guys are saying that you actually need or would like to see in the next edition of the course. So I'll give you a few minutes in the chat. I did post the bit.ly so you guys can quickly access the pre-assessment and complete it. Just a few questions, and then we can continue with the rest of the course. If you have already completed that, just in the chat, just say yes, then we can just see that you guys are done, or no. If you're still doing it, then we can see if we could just wait for a few seconds for everyone else to catch up. So you can use the chat, guys. Just let me know if you've done it, yes or no. If you've done it before, thank you, Angeline. All right, thanks. Some yeses are coming through. So if you have done it before, then it's not really a problem. You don't have to worry about it. But if you have done it, great stuff. Then you're ready to move on. Okay, so the rest of you guys, just please complete the pre-assessment. That does help. Thanks, Tando. You can just quickly do it now. You're doing it right now. El Glamini, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, and we're looking forward to a fun session. So we are going to show you some practicals. So I'm actually going to use my cell phone, and I'm going to show you on my phone a couple of the things that you can learn to make sure that your phone is working as best it can, especially if you're going to use it for the exams, because, you know, that's something you don't want to have any problems when you're writing exams. Okay, so far I've only got 4 responses, and we've about 50 odd students on the platform and Teams, and a few more on YouTube. So YouTube, unfortunately, you must just use the chat of Teams maybe, then we can just keep along with us. But the rest of you guys, have you completed the pre-assessment? Are you done? And can we maybe move on? So don't worry, you can always go do it after the lesson as well. Okay, thank you. I see some more yeses are coming through. Done. Thank you. Excellent. Okay, but don't worry, guys. With the course, you'll see, and when I demonstrate, you'll see that all the information is there for you to access very easily. All right, then the very first activity, if you are done already, you can maybe even start this one because we'll actually jump to it. The first activity that you'll come across in the course is the introduce yourself. So it's quite a nice one for you just to say hi, who you are, where you are living, not specifics, please. You can just say Gauteng or Durban. You don't have to say the street number. Because you never know who's on the platform. You'll have some unwanted visitors. So don't give too much. Don't put cell phone numbers, things like that, guys. So just say, hey, I'm studying this and this is where I live. And that's perfectly fine. So you can just introduce yourself and basically share with the other students doing the course so that you can see who's from where, just for interest's sake for yourselves to introduce yourself. So if you are done with the pre-assessment, you can quickly zip along and do the introduction over there. So there is the QR code, but I am going to demonstrate this in a few seconds. So if you only got one device and you're following along, don't worry, don't panic. Just watch what we're doing. There is a recording, and then afterwards you can always watch the recording and do it practically in a much easier pace for yourself. All right, so please do introduce yourself. All right, so I see some of you guys are doing the introduction, but don't worry, I am going to go there now and show you guys how it works and what you guys are posting so long. Okay, so again, don't worry if we are moving along. So I'm now going to do it practically with you guys. All right, so let's have a quick see. How do we do this? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open my browser. So I'm just opening it this way. And I'm going to type in adovh.unisa.ac.za. Right, so that's the first thing I wanted you guys to see. Okay, there are all the co-curriculars that Richard was referring to as well. So if you scroll down, you'll see basic skills for my module. So that one you should have done right in the beginning of the semester. Okay. If you know somebody is joining UNISA for the first time, remember this is an open platform. They can already access this. Then they can basically understand what my modules is, how it works, the assignments, all that type of thing. So that's the first one. Then you've got basic skills for online exams. This is a very important one. If you're writing exams for the first time, in the chat, just please let me know how many of you guys are writing your online exams for the very first time. Just put in a yes for me. Just those guys that are writing for the very first time. Just use the chat, put in a yes, then we can actually see how many of you guys are going to be doing it. Amanda, okay. So this course you definitely want to do, all right? Because it's going to tell you about the proctoring tools, the 3 different ones that we got at UNISA. We show you how they work. And then, of course, you can do the demo. So go practice the mock exam and actually see, all right, this is how my device works. This is how it's going to function on the day of the exam. So you can go prepare yourself, because this stress here, you can try to minimize it as much as possible. So I see quite a few yeses. So that means definitely you want to be able to go through this course. And you can do it anytime, guys. We are going to be having training specifically for exam training coming up in May, first week. So there we'll also be showing you guys this as well. So if you've got any questions or you struggled with it, so you've done the course and you've got any questions, then you come on that day and you can actually ask us as well. Okay, so there's the first mobile learning, the very first one that you can do anytime. It's not a problem. So if you haven't done it, we are just going to cover it a little bit this morning. Then this is Masterclass number 2. So this is the one that you would have clicked on to access the pre-assessment and the introducing yourself. Then we've got Tech 1 and 2. So for the ladies, this one was specifically for you. We actually had the event yesterday, which was quite good. We had fun. Not me, because I wasn't allowed in the venue. It was only ladies. So that was quite an interesting one here on Sunny side. But yes, we will try to plan to go around the country with that one as well. If you are very interested in the model United Nations, in other words, how the whole world is using this tool or this committees, how to govern the world, then we've got a very special course over here that you can also do, and we'll also be doing it I think we kick off in July. And our facilitators are experts, and they are based in India. So they're actually giving their time to come teach us about Module UN and how it works. It's very fascinating, especially if you're doing international law. I think that would be something you'd be interested in. There's your AI courses that Richard's going to tackle tomorrow. So if you've got some time, you can already have a look at them. And as you can see, we do other things as well. It's not just IT things. For example, here we've got the early Stone Age. So if you're interested in this type of information, or maybe that's what you're studying, there's a nice MOOC that you can actually go to. It doesn't take you the whole day. These courses are very quick, and that's the nice thing. And then, of course, we've got foundational skills, especially with the library, how to search, especially now with AI, how do I do referencing, that type of thing. So have a look at this one as well. Okay, so these are the courses that you can see for co-curricular, but there are other courses on the platform you can also look at. So if I click on it, then it's going to say to me, yeah, here it is, please enroll yourself. And then I'm going to just log in. Okay, to save a bit of time, I'm not going to log in that way. I'm just going to use my quick way of doing it because it already remembers me. But that's how you would log into the course. Okay, so just to show you guys, log in. So with this platform, always use this option over here. This is very important. This is the one that says use my UNISA email account. Unless you've created a personal one, then you use this top piece. Otherwise, you must use this option if you're using your My Life. Remember, My Life is linked to the co-curricular. So that's why you really want to use this one. But for anybody else who doesn't have an account with UNISA, they can simply create an account. Remember, this is open to the community as well. So you're most welcome to use these resources and go show people and have fun with it. All right, so there we go, mobile masterclass number 2. So I'm going to click on it. And because I'm already logged in, it's automatically going to take me straight over here. Right, then the first thing there is your pre-course assessment. So you'll see it right on top. So you just click on it. You can see my internet on campus is very slow, but there we go. It's going through now. And there we go. So there is mobile class. You just quickly do it. It doesn't take too long. So don't worry if you haven't done it yet. You can do it after the lesson. And then you'll see we've got just the introduction, which you can work through. And you'll see when the dot goes green, that means you've completed it. All right, a lot of you guys who did the academic integrity course and you were saying Unit 6 didn't want to open, that means you had white circles above. That means there's things you didn't complete, and that's why the system wouldn't open the last unit. So always check this little guy here to make sure they are green. Sometimes it's something simple, just reading the page, and then goes green. All right, then introduce yourself. Here is the activity. So let's quickly have a look. How many of you guys did post anything already for this morning? So you just basically, we give you a guide just to say introduce yourself, nothing too hectic, and then you just add a discussion and then we can see. All right, let's have a look. So here we go. Lynn, thank you. Okay, great, nice. That's a good one. Pretoria, good. You're with us in the rain today. Good, very nice. Okay, thank you guys. So you can see, I see it's just very basic information. Even a smile. Thank you so much for that. Okay, some very basic information there. It doesn't have to be too much. Oh, good. Very nice. PhD. That's excellent. All right, so there we go. So we can see you guys introducing yourselves. And that's perfect. Just to say hi, you're in the course. And it's a nice way of just being friendly to each other. Okay, so that's how you access the course. And that applies to any of the add-on courses that we're doing, including the My Exam one as well. All right, so let's quickly have a look. So we're going to recap quickly on masterclass number 1, just in case you never did it, just to give you an idea what we are covering in it. So let's quickly have a look then at some of the things that we did. So masterclass 1 is very entry level, guys. So in other words, we deal with basic mobile literacy so that you know what it is. We look a little bit at my UNISA, the online environment. And then we looked at some productivity tools, so scanning apps and things like that. So it's quite fun. It's a nice course. You can do it basically in a day. All these courses are very short in nature. You learn the skill, you move on, and you continue with the rest of the stuff that you're doing. So it's not months and months and weeks and all that type of thing. So it's nice and easy. All right, in the chat, please tell me which apps do you use to communicate, not just with Unisa, absolutely in any apps that you're using to communicate with anybody. What apps are you guys using? Let's have a look. You can use the chat, post it there for me. What apps are you guys using for communication specifically? All right, let's have a look. Let's see. WhatsApp, Telegram. Yes, very good, Shahim. Nice. WhatsApp by far. Yes, definitely. WhatsApp. Ricky, wow, okay, Precious, Telegram, okay, good. WhatsApp, Outlook, and Gmail, very good. Telegram, lots of Telegrams, lots of WhatsApps. Yes, so those are the guys we kind of expect most of you guys to be using. So let's see what else everybody else is posting. WhatsApp, okay, good. Teams, so good to see Teams as well. Thank you, Chantal. Outlook, okay, Outlook is basically your My Life, eh? It's the same thing, but for Unisa, we call it My Life, but it is Outlook. iMessage. Oh, okay, that's something a little bit different. Oh, go on. Two of you, Tando and Klamini, you both use iMessage. Interesting. Gmail, good. WhatsApp. Okay, yeah, lots of WhatsApps. Teams. Yeah, nowadays we hooked on Teams, so yeah, I'm stuck with Teams. Nobody using Google Meet. Okay, that's more of like meetings and stuff, but I mean, you can use it for communication. So, okay, quite interesting. Lots and lots of WhatsApps. Newcastle. Oh, welcome. Welcome, Lungile. Nice. All the way from Newcastle. Yeah, we should come visit you guys there again. Okay, so lots and lots of you guys doing communication. So in Masterclass 1, we actually cover mostly the apps that you guys are using. So it's quite interesting to see. There's nothing really new coming up. iMessage is probably the new one. I haven't seen that much. I see no Discord and things like that. Okay. All right. That's great. All right. So communication tools, very important. Okay. Why are we specifically talking about communication tools? Here's a catch, guys, and it's very, very important that you must be aware of this. The WhatsApp groups and the Telegram groups that you find, and I don't know where you guys are finding these things, but you find them and you join them. You don't know who's in those WhatsApp and Telegram groups. So when you start posting things like, I'm doing this course and this module and things like that, you must be careful. People on those platforms, they are not UNISA platforms. They are actually monitoring to see who you are, what you're studying, and then they sell that data to people who will contact you. So that's one of the ways they are trying to understand and sell you things, which is all bogus. It's fake. Okay, UNISA does not sell you study guides and things like that. So you've got to be very careful in WhatsApp and Telegram groups, guys, because when you post in there, you don't know who's there, as I'm saying, and that's how they actually get to see, all right, this is who you are, and this is how we can try and sell you nonsense. And you end up spending money, and then you don't ever get it. Okay, even with your My Life email accounts, guys, it's very easy for the scammers to actually know our My Life structure because it's very easy. It's student number at My Life, right? .unisa.ac.za. So whenever you get emails about buying things or you click on a link and it looks suspicious, always go and check on My Unisa to see, is there anything on there, announcement-wise or notices, that is speaking to the email that you're receiving? Okay, so be careful of that as well. Okay, cool. So that's interesting, right? Okay. Right. So the next thing we covered is a device care. Now, in module 1, we're covering device care. So I'm just going to demonstrate using my little phone over here. So this is actually my phone that I'm using so that you guys can see in a live sort of format. Now, some of the tools are a little bit different, okay, depending on what phone you've got. So the name might be different. But for a Samsung, I'm using Android and it's Samsung. If I go to the settings of the phone, I just scroll down and then I'll find it's a very nice little feature called Device Care. Okay, so most of you guys will have the same tools. As I'm saying, it's just on a different name or how they put them separately. For example, you might find battery, storage, memory. There might just be separate little programs that you can actually use. Okay, so yeah, let's have a look then at this. So what does this device care do for me? First thing it's going to do, it's going to tell me how's my phone performing. So it's a very quick little check, right? And the first thing I need to look at is like, great. So it says great. Any of you guys open device care? Are you also getting great or good or not so good? Okay, don't have to share it with us, but yep. So just take note. It sort of tells us what exactly is happening over here. Right, then the first thing I'm going to look at is my battery. Now, because I'm connecting it to my laptop, that means I'm actually going to basically, yep, it's going to be charging 100%. So that's perfectly normal. So if I click on my battery, let's have a look. There is power saving option. So there you can find it normally under your battery. So that's useful, especially if you're writing an exam, right? And you know your battery doesn't last that long, then you might want to switch on power saving. If you, let's say, for example, you're doing the invigilating app, right? Then you put it on so that you know your battery is going to save as much as it possibly can. But let me have a look at basically this little graph. This little graph is actually very important. You'll see power saving is not currently on. That's why you don't see blue as much, but you do see green, which is charging. So when I was charging the battery. So in general, when your battery gets used, it should sort of level off like this. That's a normal sort of usage of your battery, unless you've got too many programs running in the background, and those programs then are eating up your battery. And now you can see, for example, there's almost nothing running on my phone. It's very, very empty in terms of the apps that it's using. So this little guy tells you a lot of information how your battery's behaving. If you find this little bar goes down like this very quickly, then you have to charge it to come up, and then it goes down again quickly. That means your battery's probably got a problem, or it's dying slowly, and you might need to replace it. So that's an unhealthy looking battery. But if it goes like this and it sort of goes along and there's not too many programs running, then that's quite a healthy looking battery. So that's actually good. So there you can actually see some of the tools there. You can also go play around. Now, it depends on your phone. Some of them are different. Your charging settings. I know fast charging is something that almost everybody loves to use because why? Because it charges your battery faster or your phone faster. The only problem there is if it does do fast charging, your battery life tends to shorten quite a bit. So just take note of that. But generally, every 3 years, you get a new phone, most likely, hopefully. If you're on contract, then it actually shouldn't be an issue then at all. But if you're not getting a phone fairly often, then that might be an option you don't want to use too frequently. Okay, so that's basically how your battery is. And there's a few other things you can have a look at, but generally speaking, in the course, we go and cover mostly everything. But for now, I'm just giving you guys an overview. So battery life looks good. I'm happy there. The next one is storage. Now, this is quite an interesting one, especially with the guys that love to do selfies and video clips of yourselves. Okay, your storage is critical. It's very critical for your device, right? So currently I'm used only 61%. So David is actually doing very good. That's actually what I would like to see. Try to not be more than 80%. Okay. Reason being, once this drive fills up, your phone's performance is going to drop off very quickly. It's going to slow down, just like a laptop. If the hard drive space is full, it slows down incredibly. Why? Because now the operating system can't work. In this case, Android, it can't work properly. So try to keep 20% open. What's really nice here is I can see the images, the videos. I can actually go and see what is actually using up most of my space on my device. So let's quickly have a look. There are things like apps. Okay, that one I do have some control. The apps that I don't work with or need, rather delete them. Okay, rather delete them. You don't need them, delete them. Because it just takes up resources that you don't want to use up. Documents is very small. Videos, in my case, is 1.14 gigs. So that's quite a bit. So it must have been a video of some event that we were doing. I must actually try and move it off. My images is 2.65 gigs. So there I can see there are two culprits that generally eat up your data. It's these two here. Documents, audio files also can be quite big. But generally speaking, the rest of them is not that bad. There's not much you can do. Okay, so for apps. Then what I do suggest is empty your recycle bin, guys. I know it does do it after 30 days, but if you've deleted stuff you really don't need it, then go empty recycle bin, because that will also clear up some of the space that's been used. So your drive space is quite important. So we call it internal storage. The next one we've got is memory. Okay, so if you've used a computer lots of times, your random access memory, we call it RAM. Okay, so this basically is interesting. So you've got your RAM that sits in between the processor of your device, the brain, okay, the CPU and the storage. So your memory sits in between these two little guys. So when the hard drive, when the operating system says, okay, I need to open Outlook or WhatsApp, then the memory quickly gets the files from the storage and then brings it back to the CPU, then gets the program to run. Okay, so the more of this you have available, the better it is for your device. It'll speed it up. So, for example, I've got Discovery and Shure and YouTube. All these things are currently running with quite a bit of memory that they're using. In other words, if I hit my Discovery button, it should immediately, the app should open up quite quickly because it's waiting in memory for me. So what can I do just to get some space up available? I can just click on Clean Now. And then what it does is it doesn't delete the app. It simply just removes it from memory, which means you're not using it now. Let me get rid of it. And then I'm going to free up some more memory now. So this is a good thing to do if you are going to write an exam, right? And you're going to use the invigilating app, for example. Can clear your memory, then you begin your exam and you start up the whole process of the exams. So in that way, you know your phone is running as got as enough memory as it possibly can use. Then you've got this nice little feature called RAM Plus. So if you do have this feature, unfortunately, it's not with every smartphone. RAM Plus basically means, what can I do if I need more memory on your device? I can actually use the storage space as additional memory. We call it virtual memory. So that means, that's why I'm saying that 20% that you want to keep open, that 20%, some of it will belong to this feature in case of this phone, where you would then be able to use this and be able then to have a better performance of your phone. Don't do it now, please. If you do have this feature, because once you make this selection, your phone is going to reset itself. It's going to restart. Okay, so that will kick you out of the lesson then that you're in. But do it afterwards and put it on maximum, whatever you've got, but just make sure you've got enough storage space. So go delete those videos and pictures or back them up, but make sure you've got the storage space available before you use that setting. Okay. All right, so then of course you've got threat protection and a few other things like software updates. It's really important to make sure that your phone is always up to date. So this one you must always check before any exam period as well. Make sure all your apps are up to date, the software is up to date, the operating system, and you can come to campus and use the internet here for free and download all these big updates and then install. Okay, so you don't have to use up your data. Okay, so that's the type of things we are covering in the first one in terms of module masterclass number 1, masterclass 1. All right, so which apps do you guys use for your studies? Now, that's quite an interesting one. We also cover this in the productivity tools. What are the apps that you're currently using for your studies? You can use the chat, post them in there for us. Or any studies that you've used or any courses that you've done. For example, Udemy. I know there's short courses people have done. Any apps that you're using for your studies or courses that you've done, just post it in the chat. Let's quickly have a see. What are you guys using as well? Canva, Notebook LM. That is such an interesting one. We just had a meeting with Google, Angeline. So yeah, Notebook LM. That is nice. Chrome, using Chrome. Okay, yes, that's a good one. Shame, you need to know Chrome, and we're actually going to look at Chrome in a few seconds as well. What else are you guys using for your studies? Apps, study notes, which app programs are you using? You use Teams, definitely Teams. Okay, so use Google. Okay, yep, that's perfect. Okay, I see a lot of Chrome users. OneNote, yes, OneNote is also pretty cool. That's just a nice one to use, and it's free as well. ChatGDP, I like that, for explanations only, not for the assignments, Richard, only for the explanations. Very nice. Data Camp, okay, free code camp, okay, nice. Bing, okay, Udemy, okay, you've also used Udemy, okay. Google Scholar, yes, Google Scholar is also quite a nice one. Claude, okay, so some AI tools coming in here, Richard, I see. So that's also quite interesting. So tomorrow, yes, we're going to be looking at the AI side of things. Okay, so I see a lot of you guys are using Chrome. Okay, so let's just do a quick check. And I want to show you guys something really important about Chrome. So let me bring my phone back here again. Can you guys please open Chrome for me on your device? And what I want you to do is go to Chrome itself, all right? So this little icon, not the Samsung internet. I know a lot of people go there. Specifically, open Google Chrome for us. Let's quickly have a look at this one. All right, let's open Google Chrome. Hi, sorry, we're actually in a workshop. But it's fine. Yes, online. All right, so yep, so there we go. I want to show you guys something really interesting. Do you see this number right on top? In the chat, please post what is the number saying on your side. All right. So with me, it's 2. Oh no, Mariki, 28. We've got a record, by the way. I want to see if anybody's going to beat it today. I doubt. It's a very high number. Okay, 22. We've got 3. Okay, 3 is not bad. 9, not great. 280. Oh my good Lord. You're not the record breaker, but you're almost close. Wow. S. Larata. Wow. 280. What are you doing to your browser? Okay. But it's fine. This is why we're doing this, guys. So you can actually understand what are we doing to our browser and what pressure we're putting on our devices. Okay, let's see. Everybody else, just have a look. Give you 2 seconds just to give everyone a chance. So far, we've got 280 is the record on this event. Okay, so what I'm seeing is most of you guys do have low numbers, so it's not too bad, except for the 280. 19 and 22s, that's not great. Okay, but 280, you seriously need to clean your browser off, eh? That's way too many. Okay, so here's the problem. You don't have Chrome. Oh, okay. Remember, you can install it separately. Oh, sorry. So that's also possible. So this little number basically means these are all the tabs that I have available to you in my browser. And I need to use some storage space and I need to use some memory that needs to be held by the application, because if I click on this thing, it must immediately open for me. So that means the higher this number, the more work you're giving your phone or even your laptop for that matter. It needs to keep those tabs active and available to you. 70 is not a good thing, Tando. So ideally, guys, if you're going to do your exams and using Chrome, please make sure it's 1 or 2 max. You need to close all of them. They're inactive, but they're still available, Chantel. That's the catch. Because remember, if I click on it, it needs to respond to me. And that's the problem. It's using up resources, not huge, but when you get to 280, it becomes really, really big. So that's the problem. All right. So yeah, that's the tricky thing there, guys. Just give me a second. Let's see what Richard wants to say. Okay, super. Okay, there we go. Yes, so basically the same principle applies as much as in your desktop and your laptop as well. If you've got lots of tabs open, guys, it is actually slowing down the browser, the internet connection, the memory, even of your device. So in other words, so like for example here, right? Here's Google. So every time I have these little tabs open, and we actually see this with you guys when you post us questions for my exams and that type of thing. I can see all these things are open. That means your browser needs to have them, and it eats up memory and it eats up internet as well. So when it's exam time, like WhatsApp, oh, please close that little guy. Close them all. You must just have what you need, the exam platform or whatever it is. Otherwise, wow, it's really going to slow down your browser, your internet, and it's not really good. So that's really why we're selling it. So on your phone, as much as on your laptop or your desktop, you definitely need to close it. So yes, Angeline, since November 2025. Wow. So that means your browser is really doing a great job because it's still remembering those things, even though you're not actually using them anymore. How do you close them? All right, it's easy. You can just click on the little X sign there. That's one way. I think there is a one. Yeah, there it is. Close all tabs option, which I think if you've got 280, I think this is a very useful option for you as well. All right. So, yep, that's also what we're teaching you in Masterclass number 1. So please go close those tabs. Also, delete your browsing data, guys. This one is also critical, especially with cookies. Can anybody tell me what are cookies? Not the things that you eat in terms of computers. What are cookies? Use the chat, quickly post there. What is a cookie? You can use your own words, eh? Don't use chat GDPs and things. What are cookies? You always see them whenever you go to a website. So what are they? All right, let's see. What are cookies? So when you go to a web page, it says, do you accept or reject these cookies or manage these cookies? What are cookies? Yep, it definitely does, Angeline. Good answer. It does store some personal data. In other words, the website actually remembers who you are when you go there. Not necessarily passwords, because we normally got the password manager built into the browser that does that for us. No, history will still be there even if you close the tabs. Kumalo, Pandiswe, Felicizwe. Yep, so that one, the memory, that's a different part. But when you delete the browsing data, that's where it deletes your memory, your history, and everything. Yes, so it basically captures basic information. Very nice answer. Tiny little files from a website. Perfect. It sort of does track you. Yes, important. Remembers who you are. Gives you permission. Yeah, that permission basically goes to your device. So just to remember the next time when you log in. All right. Yes. Kind of spying, Tendo. Yeah, in a way, it's a polite way of spying or making sure it remembers who you are. But there are limitations to what it can do, although you never know what people can come up with. Okay, so yes, that's why it's really, really important. Yes, it's a small little text device file. So yes, so now when you go to My UNISA, for example, and you try to log in, and all of a sudden, when it logs in, you'll notice the progress bar gets jammed about 70% of the way, and it gets stuck. What you need to always do then is come delete your browsing data, delete the cookies, because those little cookies get corrupt. And when you go into My UNISA, it doesn't load anymore because it's not synchronizing with the server anymore. And then the best thing to do is just simply go and delete it. And you'll see it gives you all the options that you possibly would want to delete, like passwords, forms. If you accidentally told the browser to remember your form, then this is how you can actually go delete it. Then it won't remember your password anymore. There's your history, your browsing history. So the question that was asked, that's where you can actually delete your browsing history. Okay, so cookies and site data. There we go. So you can actually just delete it. Very quick to do. I'm going to do it because I don't need it. And then voila. Now it's cleared all that information for me. Unfortunately, the tabs are still there because that's a different function that I need to use. But yeah, so that's why we have the little cookies there. So yep, it does remember who you are. But whenever you have problems with a website, it's a good idea to delete the cookies and try again, and you can probably find then it works perfectly fine. Okay, so that's really what we covered in Masterclass number 1, guys. As you can see, all the steps, everything I've showed you, even more details, because we don't have that much time to cover the whole thing. That's why we do Masterclass number 1. So you can actually go do it later on whenever you've got time, and you'll see there's quite a few things that you would actually learn from there. All right, so let's continue. Okay, that's a good question. Can putting your Chrome in incognito mode assist? Yes, so incognito mode or private window basically just means it sort of keeps it more secure in terms of what it remembers about you. Although certain websites will complain when you're in that mode, and then it'll actually say to you, no, we can't actually do XYZ because you're actually blocking us. So it sort of limits it what you can do. But private windows is another way of keeping your information safe. So that's actually a very good point that you've raised there. Okay, so learning unit 1. Now let's continue with masterclass number 2. So what we're going to look at here, guys, is what is this whole mobile first design that everybody's talking about? And when did it start actually? So that's quite interesting. So what are we going to do? We're going to define it. We're going to explain what it is. We're going to evaluate and we can apply it. And most of these things, you're already seeing it. You just didn't actually know it was part of it. And the whole point of mobile first, guys, is about you, the student. The whole concept is about students studying online. Okay. If I clear data, it will affect the UNISA site. Yes, definitely. If it's got a cookie synchronization problem, then you'll see it should work better then. Okay, so what is mobile first, guys? It's a pedagogical focus. In other words, what we do is we look at how we support our students and how we build the website. So it's not just a solution, it's the whole experience. That's why when you did the academic integrity course, right, you saw how different that course was compared to the modules that you're doing now. Did you guys enjoy the academic integrity course? You can use the chat, yes or no. If you say no, why didn't you enjoy it? I'd like to see what you guys say about it. There's one thing that everyone mentions about the academic integrity course. Okay, but challenging. Thanks, Amanda. Okay. It was fun. Okay, that's great. Did any of you guys find it a bit too long? There we go. Perfect timing, Katlego. That's one thing I see in almost every session we have. People were saying it was way too long. So yeah, lots of reading, but you did learn something from it, right? So that's the way courses get designed for the student in mind. Yes, it's a module on its own, but it's quite important that you understand what exactly is academic integrity and why is it so important. All right, so yes, that's why you guys did that. So the responsive design, in other words, when you watch those videos, right? And in the video, then it will ask you a question. In other words, it's different because now you have to pay attention to what the video is talking about. And then they ask you a question. So it's interactive. There's lots of different things that you do in the course. So that's responsive design. So when you click on something and it works, it must work really quickly. With you guys, when you click on an app and it doesn't immediately respond, what do you normally do? Use the chat, post for me. What do you normally do? When you click on an app and it doesn't respond immediately, what do you normally do? You close it. Okay, good. So now you try to open an app, doesn't work. What do? You close it and you try again. Okay, refresh it. Good. Close it, refresh it, click again. Okay. Depends, Mariki, how many times you clicked on it? Like 10 times, 15 times. Okay, then you're just overloading the app anyway. Switch off the phone. Phew, that's a bit hectic. Reboot the phone. Interesting. Okay, yeah, so there's many solutions. It all depends on your phone and what the problem was. But yes, so that's so interesting. Actually, something very interesting on our Adobe platform, we've got Microsoft Clarity. And what that does is it actually checks what you guys are doing, but not to a user level, but generally. And what we see there is when people click on things and it doesn't respond immediately, you guys click it like a zillion times. And it actually can tell us that this link, people were clicking it 15 times in a space of 5 seconds because they really wanted it to open, which doesn't actually help you guys. It actually just slows down the whole device anyway. So yeah, clearing the cache is a great answer, Yolo. That is a very good option there to clear the cache of the app. Then you just need to log into it again or check the updates. See, yes. So instead of uninstalling, first check and see, is there an update that maybe needs to install first and then reinstall? So sometimes that does work as well. Very good solutions that you guys have got there. Accessibility is a key. All right. Nowadays, or definitely nowadays, we have to make sure that any apps, any programs that we use is anybody can actually use those apps. That's critical. So if you're blind or deaf or any challenge that you may have, you need to be able to have the same experience as anybody else in terms of accessibility. So that needs to be built in. And then you'll see a lot of the platforms now have a lot of features that is friendly to apps that people use that can speak to them or describe things to them. So that's really important. micro learning is also really important. That's what you guys are doing today, guys. It's actually micro learning. You're doing something short, you learn the skill, you're done. It's not, as I said before, not weeks and months. It's just a couple of hours and you've done the course. Like your Udemy's and things like that. They're also very short courses because they want you to learn a skill and move on and not be stuck there for endless time. Offline access is also really critical, especially with South Africa, because we know our data is very expensive. And I know students, you guys didn't get data now during the semester. You're only getting it now for exam time, which means unless you're going to campus, you really, really have to manage your data. So having offline resources is critical if you want to do your studies. So that's also really great about Microsoft 365. You can do offline, and when you go online, then it will synchronize all your files for you. So that's also really important. Gamification, that's actually what we were speaking about a little bit earlier, but the AIC course, the academic course. You've got videos, you've got links, you've got different little things that you click on and you move, and little tabs, and it jumps around and it shows you information. So it keeps you engaged. And that's the important part with gamification. We see students are very interested to know when they do a course, they must get to 100%. And when it says 98%, you guys email me saying, David, why is it 98? Where's the 100? Where's the 2% I'm missing? And it might just be something we've removed that's outdated that we haven't removed from the calculation. But it's interesting to see you guys really want to get that 100%. Push notifications. Are you guys getting SMS reminders for your assignments? You should be. Okay, so that's push notifications in terms of us sending an SMS to remind you. The applications also do that. Like, for example, your Uber Eats, Mr. Delivery, Pick and Pay, all these things, 60/60. Whenever there's specials or something happens, they push through a message that you can immediately see on your phone. Why? Because we tend to forget things a lot. That's also why we do the SMSs for assignments, so you can't miss those. All right, so that's really important. That's why we've put that in place. And the whole idea really is about studying and the student being on the mobile phone, moving around and studying. So that's why mobile first is such a critical thing, even here at UNISA. You guys must remember, as UNISA students, a lot of you guys are working. So when you're working, it could be all over the country or the world. We've got students quite literally everywhere in the world. All right. So being able to study at different time zones as well is also very, very tricky. So you need to know if you ahead of time, how many hours ahead of time you are compared to here in South Africa for your exam, for example. Okay, so gamification basically means you take your course, but you make it very interactive, like having a video that has a question in that you have to engage in before the video continues. You've got progress bars, you've got little tabs that you click on and it reveals little cards, that type of thing. You've got crossword puzzles, you've got all those type of things. So that means you're making it more fun, because remember, most young people grow up playing games, video games, PlayStation, that type of thing. So that mindset of learning and growing in the game is basically the same concept as for your studies, but a little bit different approach. So that's really what gamification is, to add these features to keep you engaged in the course, to try and get you to the end. So yeah, thank you. My pleasure for that very good question. Thank you. All right, so mobile first, guys, can you see the apps that you're already using? These principles are already being applied. This is quite an interesting article I came across, and it's done here in South Africa, where they were looking at the old phones, right? You know, the old Telkom phones that maybe Granny and Grandpa Coco have got in their homes, the ones that used to dial up. And there was, those type of phones. Do you guys still have those phones at home, or maybe at your mom or dad's home? You remember those ones, those really old Telkom ones? Let me see if I can find a picture of one, because maybe some of you young generation don't even know what I'm talking about. Let me quickly see. A 1980s phone, right? What did they used to call them? Dial tone. Ah, yes, there we go. These little guys. Do you remember these? Then you know how old we are. Do you guys still have these type of phones? Some of them are still on for sale there. I see Takealot even. That's crazy. I'd love to see you young guys trying to figure out how this works. It's actually quite funny. Yes, back in the day we used to do this. Click, 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 click. Yeah, real fun. Do you guys have any of these vintage phones? Yeah, these are collectibles now, I think. Okay, so these other phones used to work. Now, this little research article, what they were doing is they checked around South Africa. Okay, so a small sample, not a huge sample, but they were finding that in Eastern Cape, there were more people using this old technology at their homes and not just having a mobile phone. So KwaZulu-Natal, they tend to have more mobile phones only as the communication choice compared to those older phone technologies. And you can see these provinces are right next to each other, but yet they're so different in terms of the percentages. So it was quite interesting just to see which part of the world or country still uses that old telecom infrastructure like that. I think mostly now it's just for collector's sake. I don't think there's any use in that type of system anymore. So yeah, that's interesting. All right, let's quickly have a look at the key benefits. Okay, so what are the benefits of mobile first design? Okay, the first thing is your user behavior, right? So we understand what you students need and how it works and how the world is working with apps. That's why I asked you very specifically, when an app doesn't work, what do you do? That's very important. The device preferences that you use. Is it Android? Is it iOS? What type of phones are you using? Or what type of operating system? Because that makes a big difference in terms of when you're designing the apps. So my modules, does it work or not? Thank you. Rafense says Android. A lot of you guys saying Android. Yeah, mostly it's Android or iOS. That's generally what we have. Performance and data efficiency. That's really, really important, right? Your device's performance as much as the app's performance needs to be as good as it possibly be to give you the best experience, right? So that's really important. Data efficiency, guys, this is a critical one, especially with South Africa, with our data costs. For example, you've got Microsoft Teams, right? Where in the world is Microsoft Teams developed from? America. What is this internet, the basic internet speed in America compared to South Africa? It's light years apart. Okay, their basic internet speed is super fast. So when they design Microsoft Teams, they're not thinking of South Africa. They're actually just thinking of their own people, Europe and Asia, where internet is really fast. So Microsoft Teams, when you use it, it uses as much data as it possibly can because it wants to give you the best experience it possibly can. So it's going to use as much data. That's the problem. Okay, so yeah, that's not great for us because it means it's going to use more of our data that we got compared to them. So yeah, that's a challenge. Accessibility, inclusivity. So that's what we really spoke about. It means anybody needs to be able to use the app, and it needs to be integrated into software that can help that person understand and see and visualize or read through the website so that they can understand exactly what's going on. So it needs to have that features as well. Search engine. This is such an interesting one. When you type in UNISA, which other university do you guys come across? You can use the chat. Let's see who's the winner. Let's see who posts the answer the fastest. You type in UNISA, but you get a different university. Why does that happen? University of Australia. Thank you, Angeline. Yes, that is so interesting because they registered UNISA first before South Africa did, even though we got 10 times as many students as they do, or 20 times more students. It's because the search engine sees them first, hence it picks it up, even though we've got millions and millions of students more than they do. So search engine is actually quite interesting. Although nowadays, are we still using Google or do we actually use AI to do our searches and find solutions all in the same thing? So yeah, the way it's changed is quite interesting. Yeah, Volunteer, you also said Australia. Well done, Dolly. Good. Progressive enhancement scalability. So that's also really important because now when you have assignments due, the system needs to be available on the day when everyone can submit at the same time. Because we're giving you a deadline for that reason that that is the time you need to submit by. And unfortunately, what happens when everybody jumps in at the same time? What happens to the system? It tends to then struggle and crashes and whatnot. So that's also scalability issues. In other words, the first day of registration or the first day of applications, now we've got loads of people trying to do that and the systems can't handle it and generally it will crash. Okay, although this year we've got a new service provider, Amazon Web Service. So we moved away from Microsoft Azure. So hopefully this registration period has gone better. I don't recall too many people asking about the website being down or up. So hopefully that's a good sign. So hopefully that then will mean more people can use the service without the service stopping or crashing, which is really important, especially if you're studying distance. Okay, let's have a quick check with you guys. Government portals. Which government portals do you guys use? There's one that loves us. Every year we have to use it. What government portals are you using? Ah, thank you. SARS. Yes. It's amazing how efficient that website is. Okay, good. Katlefa IEC. There's another one. What other government portals do you use, guys? CPIC, definitely. Eslarata. Yep. Oh, yes. You're for traffic fines, eh? NLTS. CPIC. Yeah, good, good. Okay, so most of them e-recruitment. Okay, social development. Okay, good. And do you find the websites are really good? What about NSFAS? I don't see anybody posting NSFAS here. Yeah, all right. Okay, so yes, NSFAS I know, but generally people say it's not that great, especially the face-to-face workshops that we do. University websites. Which other study platforms have you used? We already spoke about this one, Udemy's and, oh, there's so many. Coursera. All right, so those ones we did cover already. E-learning platforms. Yep. Yeah, Ellison, there's another good one. E-learning platforms, guys. I see we got Ellison. I see comes up. Coursera, Udemy. Yeah, so a lot of these ones we know about. Okay, super. Online banking. Are you all using online banking? Yes, definitely. Harvard as well. IBM has got one now. You can also do. Online banking. I think pretty much everyone uses online banking. Okay, so that's really important to look after your device because remember now your banking details and your credit card, all that type of information is sitting on your device. So does anyone quickly want to share their credit card details with me? I just want to show you how easy it is to actually use somebody else's credit card. I'm just checking. Angelique said nope. Yes, you never share credit card details, guys. That's rule number one. Never share that at all. Yes, y'all know you definitely don't share. Well done, guys. I'm glad. Never. Very good. Okay. All right. Now here's the next one. E-commerce platforms. Which e-commerce platforms do you guys love using? The one that starts with a capital T. I know everyone uses it nowadays. Okay, what e-platforms are you guys using? Okay, Shopify, you can actually build e-commerce platforms. So that's quite an interesting one. Techlot, Mr. D, yes, Temu, definitely Temu. What's the other one from that side of the world? Shein, thank you, there it is. Mr. D, Shein, Woolworths, Cotton On. Okay, Woolworths is quite nice. I actually quite enjoy their app. Actually, I like Woolworths, 6060, Discam, and then, of course, your takeaways. So on Saturday, you don't have to go shopping anymore. Just do it and they deliver to you. It's wonderful, especially if you're trying to watch soccer or rugby or something in the mornings. Bash, yes, Bash is another one. Amazon is another one. Uber Eats, we love it. Okay. Yes, a lot of you guys, lots of different things. So yeah, e-commerce, you're all using it. Why do we like to use Shein and Temu specifically? Why are those two so... We adopted it very fast, but why? Was it just the price of the goods, or was it the ease of use of the apps, ease of payments? Yep, cost, price. Yeah, CEO, yeah, cheaper product, variety, yeah. It's easy to use those apps, right? The quality, yeah, the quality is actually very good. Yeah, the ease of using those apps is something that it's amazing, really. Yeah, so we actually need to, why can't South Africa build our own manufacturing plants where we can manufacture products and export it to the rest of the world? That's what the Chinese are doing, and they're doing it very, very well. Freebies, cost, fast delivery. It's amazing. Actually, the delivery is actually awesome as well. Yeah, so it's very interesting. The only catch is if somebody hacks their systems at some point, because it will be at some point, I hope you guys are using virtual credit cards, not the actual credit cards details. If you haven't done that, please rather use virtual credit cards because at least there the CCV number changes every now and then. So just take note, virtual credit cards are way safer than the actual credit cards. So just take note of that. Check with your bank how to do the virtual credit card for your bank that you've got. I know with Discovery, it's very easy. You just go on the app and it generates it for you. So just take note of that. Hey, use virtual credit cards on online platforms. Okay, so with your website, you would have seen this already. So with your screen size, that makes a huge difference, especially with a mobile phone. So if you change it landscape to portrait, that's important. You need to know how to do that. I know the feature does it for you anyway. But when you zoom in, zoom out with your fingers, the images, for example, they shouldn't deteriorate. That's also really important about mobile first. So if your lecture gives you an image and you need to zoom in a bit into the image just to get a clearer picture of the image itself, then the quality must still stay there. It mustn't go all pixelated, little blocks everywhere. That means you can't really read it. So that's important. Your media queries, right? Depending on your screen size, how easy it is, does the media, in other words, your YouTube, does it fit in nicely? Does it auto adjust itself to the size of your screen? That should happen immediately. That's part of it. So mobile first, guys, is really about designing it for the phone. So we design it for your phone. We get it working perfectly there. And then the desktop side, it's actually not even an issue once it's released to desktop. A good example would be Copilot. In other words, on your phone, you had the app, you could use it. Now it's on the desktop. And it gives you exactly the same feel, look, exactly the same. So there's no real difference. But of course, the screen size makes a huge difference. Your topography, guys, that's your text. Is it easy to make the text bigger, smaller? Can you read the text easier? So that's really important as well with your design. The meta tags, in other words, the meta tags are those little tags that describe things in your website, the images, the videos, that basically can be used for searching. So that's built in, but that's something you won't see. But it will, when you search, you would be able then to find the right things. Content, in other words, how does the content come across? Is it too big, too small, too much text? So that's also balanced from the design principle. So that's why it's all important. Put all this together, and you've got your performance of your device, which is really important. So your optimization, how fast does it work? That's why I asked you very specifically, when an app doesn't work, what do you do? That's why I was asking you, because the performance really makes a huge difference if you want to use it again. And that's why Temu is a great example, easy to use, easy to navigate, easy to do everything. And yes, it even has gamification in as well to make it real fun for you. I know there's games and all sorts of things that they link to it. So yeah, so that gives you a better overall feel, which means you will definitely come back and use the app again. So apart from the prices being so cheap. Right, let's have a look at module and learning unit number 2. So just take note, we have covered it, but when you go through the course, you'll see the steps and more details there as well. So let's quickly have a look with you guys, because now we are already in nearly May. April's almost finished. The multimedia and interactivity. So with your My Modules, what are you mostly getting from the courses that you're doing, the modules itself? Is it just text? Do you guys have some YouTube videos? Compared to the AIC course, the Academic Integrity course, and now you're doing these modules, how different do they feel to you? Text mostly. So Angeline, is that a bit more boring then? Because now you just had AIC course, interactive, gamified, and now when you go to whichever module you're doing, and now it's just mostly text. Text and videos. More boring. Yeah, that's exactly what we're getting, Angelina. A lot of you students are saying, I've done it like this, or I'm doing the modules here with David and Richard, and they're a lot of fun. But when I go to my actual study modules, then it's kind of like, ugh, it's just text. I'm reading and reading and I'm falling asleep. Yeah, so that means it's not that great. But this is also where AI can actually make it a lot interesting or different for you. So tomorrow's lesson is actually really fun. And we'll actually show you a couple of tricks there where you can take some text and ask ChatGPT to explain it, to create an image for you. so that it can just make it look different and get a different feel for how it works and how to translate as well. So some fun things we'll do tomorrow with AI. So AI can really change the way we actually studying. So yeah, these are the typical things now, and this is really interesting. And this is the feedback I'm actually giving to the colleagues that are managing the AIC course and for the colleges, that they can realize that you've done something here, but now it's not consistent what you're doing over here on the right side. So they need to kind of look at making modules a little bit more interactive, more interesting, easier to follow, more fun for you to study, not just being text. Please remember, guys, with communication, that is your My Life side of things. You must always use your My Life email account. Okay, especially if you send an email about anything that has the word payments in generally, the spam folders will block it. We're finding a lot of Gmail accounts get blocked automatically. Yahoo, it's always been an issue. So please only use your My Life email account when speaking with the university as well. The nice thing, guys, as I said earlier as well, the fun thing is you can travel and you can study at the same time. You can be anywhere in the world and you can actually do your studies. So it really means you are mobile. You can be anywhere, everywhere, and actually do your studies. So accessibility is critical. And that's why the servers need to be up whenever you are. We do see with our chatbots, the students are up at very strange times of the day for us, which is early in the morning, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. You guys are using the chatbot, for example, my exams one, asking it questions. So it also shows that students study at different times, that which they feel is more useful for them. So that's important. Systems must be available. And that's where your AI chatbots can become so much more interesting, because they can help you any time of the day when the lecture is not available, but the system is available to give you the answers. Support administration, very important that you access your My Admin. Please go check your details there, your addresses there, your contact numbers there. Very, very important, because if that changes, that means the student system on our side would have the wrong information, especially with graduations. We always get queries like that. So, yep. Your digital e-resources, have you guys accessed the new library? That's why we've got that MOOC course that I showed you right in the beginning. Go have a look at it, because the MOOC, the library has now changed. It's way better than it was last year. For the students who were part of that, it was actually quite good feedback we gave, and it was actually good to see how the library site now works compared to the old ugly one that they had, which was really horrible. So yeah, go have a look at the new library site. It's much easier to use, but also check with your local library. When are they having training, if it's in person or online or both? I think it's always a good skill to understand how to search for information, especially from the library portals, ebooks and that type of thing, really important. And of course, your Moodle learning management system. So just a quick one. Do you guys install the Moodle app? Let me see if I can quickly find it. This little guy. I'm going to quickly find the icon. Where's the image now? Okay, so this little guy here, it looks like this. Do you guys have this Moodle app installed on your phone? Good. Angeline, good. You've got it, but you don't use it. Yep. Okay, can you please remove it though, guys? You don't need it. Now, why am I saying this? Because when we send out emails and all that type of thing, it does put in there that you can install the app and use the app. Okay, good. Your courses definitely do not require it. Okay. Yeah, uninstall this one because you don't need it at all. Just to explain, guys, Moodle is the platform, right? Where we build my UNISA, my modules, my admin, all the things that you actually use. We're using Moodle as basically the foundation, the platform to build onto. Now, for them, this business, even though it's free, they would want you to use their app because it belongs to their app. But the problem is with UNISA, it doesn't synchronize with my modules, our servers, which means it might work today, but maybe a week later, it might stop working and then it doesn't update the information and it feels like nothing's happening. So there are issues with it. So you don't need this one at all. So please, you can remove it. It's not going to affect your studies. And I know they do market it by default on the emails that you get from us that says you can install this app and whatever, but you really don't need it at all, guys. Moodle app, don't need it. It's just the foundation that we're using it in our My UNISA modules. So you don't need it at all. What one you can install, let me quickly put it on, is the student one. Let me quickly show you the one that actually you can use with your studies. Okay, let me just close all the browsers I had open. I'll show you in a second. Okay, there we go. All right, so this little guy, UNISA student. Now this one you can install. It's got the UNISA logo. This one is actually okay, so not a problem. Thank you, Leadership Pleasure. All right, so there we go, guys. So there we go. You can see application registration, study assessments. This one, I haven't read my inbox probably forever. So yeah, this one you can use, guys. It is useful, but of course you can use your browser as well to access my modules there. So this one, yes, you can install it. Okay, this one, it does have some use. But the Moodle one, nah, not at all. Don't need it. Okay, so that's important. And let's have a quick test with you guys. I've got this beautiful picture of this family over here. And by the way, AI created it for us. I think that app does have the library on, if I remember correctly. Let me just check. Does the UNISA library have its own app? Richard? UNISA library. Yeah, looks like they do. So you might just want to do the library search. Actually, in the app, let me quickly show you. There is the library option. There it is. Let me quickly do. There it is. Library at the bottom over there. Yeah, there we go. Yay! So there we go. I didn't even see it. So there we go. Angeline, you can maybe use this function that's right at the bottom of the app. So give it a try, see how it works. It might be useful. Okay, cool. So this image, I wanted to ask you guys, if you have to give this title to this image, what would it be? So you can use the chat, post it in there. Digital exclusion. That's interesting. Narrowing the digital divide. Okay, good. What else you guys coming up? Give it a title, guys. It's actually quite an interesting one. Lifelong learning. Oh, that's beautiful. That's a nice one, Angeline. Good. Digital literacy. Very nice. Technology for all ages. Very nice. It's always, yeah, we generally get the same sort of feedback every time we ask this sort of question over here. All right, so which province do you guys think this picture was taken? Remember now, I only told AI to create this, and I actually used a very small little prompt. So AI was actually being creative, and I told it to be creative. All right, so which province do you think this is from? Let's see. Eastern Cape, yes. KwaZulu-Natal, yes. They tend to come up the most. See, Mpumalanga even this time round, okay? That's a very nice one. Digitization through generations. Very nice. Eastern Cape, KwaZulu-Natal. Generally, yes. Why do you guys say that? Why is it Eastern Cape and KwaZulu-Natal? What's the features that you think? Because when I said to AI, create this image for me, I didn't even say where. But it then picked up the huts and the mountains. Yep, definitely. I did know one student said in Limpopo there are mountains there, just not very many of them. Okay, but yeah, definitely the huts. The huts told me I'm thinking more Eastern Cape, KwaZulu-Natal. Yeah. All right, cool. In this image, guys, who is holding the technology? Nope, it's not the child. I'm asking who's holding the technology. Very good. Nope, it's definitely not the daughter, the youngster. It's the grandmom and the dad, right? The grandmom and the dad is holding the technology. So who is using the technology? It's usually the kid in the cart in Checkers when they sit there in the in the trolley using the mom's phone while the mom is shopping. Yeah, so it's always the youngsters that are using the technology. In this case, the little girl. I see he's got a teenage brother next to her who's also listening, but it looks like he's got headsets in, so maybe he's listening to someone. Yeah, go Granny. Okay, but who's missing in this image, guys? Who's missing? The mum, definitely. So maybe the mom has gone on a journey to the city or working in the city or wherever they may be, and maybe they're having a call with the mom. That's why they can see everyone's happy, they're smiling, there's a lot of joy and excitement there. So yeah, so it really makes me think that they're having a telephone call or a Teams call, or maybe a Google Meet call with the mom, or maybe even the granddad. That's so interesting. Yeah, I didn't actually think of granddad. All right, so maybe granddad and mom was somewhere else. Yeah, so grandfather's also missing in that picture. All right, so yeah, so quite interesting. Thanks, guys. Really interesting that we can look at an image critically thinking. That's why it's important, and actually come up with a nice name for that. But yeah, such a lovely picture of a family, connecting everyone, no matter their age, connecting everyone wherever they are. Right, thank you so much for the feedback, guys. Really interesting. All right, so just remember, guys, with my UNISA, you don't install Moodle app. You can just use the UNISA app or the web browser, access your materials, your announcements. Please do check these. The announcement normally comes to your My Life email anyway. So if you do have that, you should get the same information. But make sure you check this. But if you receive SMSs or emails and you're just not 100% sure, always come check the notices here, because whatever's happening will always be posted here for you to know what's going on. Okay. So don't just click on links that you're not sure who's sending you those links. Something simple, they'll send you a link saying, what's your My Life? Or please enter your password. And then you think it's really from ICT, where it's not. It's all fake stuff, because we never ask you for your password anyway. Yeah, so just always check the notices on my UNISA, please. It's really, really important. Yes, and assignments. Yes, very good, very important. We don't want to miss those. Just remember, guys, also very important, and also for tomorrow, your My Life email account, right? That is your Microsoft account. We call it a My Life account here, but it is in essence your Microsoft 365 Copilot account that you've got access. So apart from the emails, you can access all the apps online as well. And of course, you can access Copilot as well, which I'm going to show you in a few minutes anyway, the app itself. So whenever you use this tool, please log in with your My Life, because that's where your license is assigned, which means you get a lot of free stuff while you're a student at UNISA. When you're no longer a student, then they downgrade your license to entry level. So certain things will still be available, but your OneDrive space, for example, will be a lot less. So that's why it's so important that you use your My Life email account whenever you're doing UNISA stuff. Okay, now one thing that we did add to this course, guys, and it's really, really important as well, especially when you're working in an environment with people and you're actually seeing how people are not switching off from technology and then the effects thereof. Okay, so psychological and health issues are very, very real with technology. Biggest simple thing for students, when you used to write your exams before COVID, you used to come to a center, you'd write the exams, right? You'd have a person walking up and down invigilating you. Not a problem. It was straightforward. Now we did online exams. All of a sudden, now you've got technology stress that comes in. Something you never had experienced before. Now all of a sudden you've got this new stress. Is the device working? Is the connectivity working? Is there load shedding happening? Now it's a different thing altogether. Right. But also, what's the other point? The point is we're not disconnecting ourselves from technology in a way. In other words, could you put down your phone and your laptop for an hour and just go walk outside and enjoy being outside? And most people say they can't do that. They always have to be checking. And that's the danger, because in a work environment, the same things are happening. We've got Teams, we've got Outlook, and we're constantly checking our phones. Even during family time, we're not switching off from technology. Me and Richard, we travel a lot and we see people wherever they are. We go eat out and you'll see people sitting in the same table, but everyone's on their phone. And what was the point? What was the point of going to Spur to sit on your phone when you could have done that at home and just have different food? So the problem is this: you're wearing yourself down mentally, physically. It's all going to start playing a role on you. And it's really scary. And I've seen colleagues here with us who are now going to mental institutions because they've actually broken down, because they were under stress all the time, not disconnecting from technology, not having that break, that physical exercise, the eating habits, all that type of thing. It all plays a role. So with technology, you have to have a look at yourself and also be able to actually balance your life. So that's what I agree with you, Chantal. Load shedding wasn't the worst thing ever, because it actually switched off all the technology, unless your internet has a UPS little device, which is very useful, then everybody's still connected. But generally speaking, it was nice because most young people don't watch TV anyway, but mostly they're always on YouTube and things. But at least it got everybody outside again. So we weren't all stuck watching technology. So yeah, it does play a big role. So look after your mental well-being as well, especially guys. You need to talk when you've got problems, and don't just keep it into yourselves, because we see this a lot as well with the men's group that we belong to. Device limitations, that's something you must always remember. The device has a limitation, it cannot do everything, and it will have issues if you do not look after it. So looking after your device is also really important. That's also why you're doing modules, Masterclass 1 and 2, all right? Yes, training your eyes, that's a great point, because how have you guys all had your eyes tested this year? We're already in April, you should have at least, in the last year, did you all have your eyes tested? Yes or no? Good, at least one yes. Richard, someone at the back. Had mine last year. No, ooh, no's are bad, guys. You need to be saying no's turn into yeses. Got new glasses. You see, there we go. You're protecting your eyes. It's really important. You need to protect your eyes, eh? Okay, I see some colleagues have just jumped in quickly. Okay, let's just give it 2 seconds. I've just got someone who's come to visit, but we've also got a phone call, so just give it 2 seconds. But in the meantime, yep, having your eyes tested, guys, is really important. Okay, so the problem is this. A lot of people use their devices at night, even in the beds and whatnot, and you have no natural light around you. So you basically have indoor light, or you switch that off, and then it's only the blue light of your device. So that is really bad for your eyes. So you've got to look after your eyes. You need to test them at least once a year. Okay, I have a colleague. I hope he's not in this workshop, because he knows I'm referring to him. He got glasses, but for the last year, he didn't want to wear them, because he said he'll look funny. And he actually wore them the last few days, and we actually said, dude, you actually look quite good in the glasses. So don't worry about the looking side of things. You can actually, it's not a problem. You guys will actually look better than you think you would. But yeah. Night mode is not that great, because remember, it's not a natural light. That's the problem with all this technology. So that's why you remember back in the day, mom and dad used to say, make sure when you're watching TV, the light is on, so the room is lit up, so it doesn't hurt your eyes in a way. But in a way, yeah, it will damage. I love this. Glasses are sexy, smart, Richard. I think we both need to get glasses now so we can look sexy again. Thanks for that, Angelina. That's a good comment. Yeah, it can actually. You can actually look really cool with glasses. So yeah. So devices are limited. We did discuss already, data costs, big problem for South Africa, and that's why students need to look after data, and that's why we also need to be more sensitive when coming to classes and being online all the time, because you need data. But just remember, campuses do have internet and generators and that type of thing, so you can always bounce off and use the data there as well. And of course, digital literacy gaps. This is such a common problem. For example, guys, you're all using your smartphones, right? But can you use your laptop and your desktop? It sounds funny that David's asking this, but you know why? When students come to a computer lab and I tell them to type in their student number, when they get to the @ symbol, they don't know what to do. They don't know how to activate the @ symbol on a desktop or a laptop. So those skills are really, really important. So make sure you learn how to use a laptop or a desktop, because in the workplace, yeah, Lynn's laughing, but until you see it happening. And yeah, so that happens a lot. Do you guys all know what a drop-down list is? Use the chat. Do you all know what a drop-down list is? Yes or no? You'll be surprised how many people don't know what this is. And it's okay. It's okay not to know, by the way, because your lecturer will say, click on the drop-down list and do 111. Yes, it's sort of like a menu. Okay, so that drop-down list, for example, yeah, you can see my profile pic, right? So if I click on it, it gives me a list of things that I can possibly do. That's actually what a drop-down list is. So when your lecturer says, click on my modules drop-down list, or they might just say, click on the drop-down list, they're actually referring to this little feature where you click and you see all your modules. That's actually what it is. So it drops down and gives you a menu. That's a perfect answer. Okay, so there you've learned something different. So these little basic technologies, terms, you must learn them, because you will still need them when you work in the working environment. because not everybody uses cell phones in the work environment. So that's why it's important. Okay, mobile unit number 3. So yeah, we show you guys how to install the Microsoft 365 app. Do you all have it installed already on your devices? Because remember, as your NISA student, you get free Copilot, eh? So that's quite important. Have you all installed the Microsoft 365 app? This little guy. This little dude here, Microsoft 365. Okay, if you haven't installed it, this is definitely something you can use for your studying. So we're going to show you how that's not installed. Okay, you can actually use it. There's some fun features we're going to do with it today, and you'll see how it works. All right, so let's quickly see. When you install it with any app, basically, but this one specifically, they always have some sort of installation that happens. You download it, and then it runs through some steps like privacy. That has to be there legally, guys. So it's there. Have any of you guys ever read this information? Terms and conditions. I don't think anybody does. I don't think anyone in their right minds would want to read all the terms and conditions of any app because it's way too long. Yes, Lynn, we can actually use ChatGPT and that type of thing to analyze it for us and find, is there any loopholes in this thing or anything they want to scam us on? Yeah, that's how they scam you, because you just say apply and agree and you've actually done it. Yes, Microsoft 365 Copilot, that's the one. Yeah, but I think the name changed, eh? I think now it's called M365 Copilot. They're forever changing the name of this little app. But yeah, that's the right one. It's got the whole Microsoft logo. Almost looks like Google, actually, the colors. So yeah, so that's what they do. So yes, privacy has to be there. But have a look at this option that will pop up here. About option, they call it optional data. Okay. Do you accept, in other words, with the app can actually send, not just when it crashes, but when there's information happening, what you're doing, you can actually share that information with Microsoft. That's actually what you're saying over here. Whatever they decide they want to do, if you've accepted to the terms and conditions, that means they will actually do the things that they want to do, and you don't have any legal case against them. That's the reality, guys. So me personally, I always say don't. Because I don't know, because I'm not reading all this stuff, what exactly does it mean? What am I sharing with you? So with any app, guys, especially now with the AI tools that are in place, I don't suggest sharing anything. Rather keep it. But again, who's to say they're not using it anyway? This might just be smoke and mirrors, you know, they could just be saying that, but not necessarily doing it. And of course, they always come around with the experience. That's how they like to sell this to you, to say, no, this will help the experience. But reality is data is money, because if you look what the AI models use, for example, they use data, and that's how they train those models. So yeah, you might just be giving them a lot of data for free. Maybe they should pay us. That would be awesome. Okay, so you got this general setup. Unfortunately, there's not much you can do. You can say don't send, which I do recommend, but generally speaking, there isn't much. Once you get into the platform, you will have things like search, and now's the interesting thing, right? The search will be able to look for files, your history, your files, your library files that you saved up on your OneDrives, as much as on your phone as well. So it can access your library files, although it's going to pop up a little thing saying, do you allow me to access this? Yes or no. So they do have that little pop-up happening. You can install programs like Outlook and Word and all those type of things. It's totally up to you. But just remember then, this will eat up your storage space. So always remember there's a bit of a trade-off that you need to go through. So, all right, it can install, but yeah. But this is also where I come and I tell people on my phone, my work phone, I don't have a work phone actually, my personal phone, I don't have Outlook because this is my personal device. I use my laptop for work and my phone separate. Okay, otherwise you go nuts. You'll end up just working 24/7. All right, with the settings of the phone, there's quite a few settings that you can have a look at, but have a look at, I mean, some of these are very basic, how you set it up, how they look and feel. I mean, with all apps, that's basically what you would see. All right, so that's pretty straightforward. The ones that we do like is text prediction, this little guy. So I don't know if you've noticed when you type and it automatically assumes what you're typing. text prediction is the one that kicks in. So that's quite nice because it kind of preempts what you want to type. Like Gmail, it has it quite a lot, and it'll actually do that as well. If you have a serious problem with the app and it doesn't want to log out, then there is one option you can use. It's called Reset Microsoft 365. So what it does then, it pretty much deletes your whole profile from the phone, and you will have to then re-log in again. But it's only from the device, not your complete profile from the server. So yeah, this one does fix that sort of problem where you can't log out. So sometimes a person would log in as a Gmail account, and then they try to log out, and then the system wouldn't log them out. It would sort of just keep hanging. Then this option here can actually help you do that. But it then pretty much just erases from your local device everything there, and then you can log in again. So that we actually helped a student in the Vol who had that problem. She couldn't get out of the app. Search is pretty useful. But as I said, now, this is interesting because you're going to allow it to search. So you can look through your files on your history, on your OneDrive. Hopefully, you're all using OneDrive now, right? You're not using USBs anymore. And on your actual phone itself. So it does have access to these things if you give it the permission to do so. Okay, so that's quite fun. So yeah, it's quite nice. So the nice thing is, like, for example, you could work now on your laptop, climbing the Gautrain. While you're there, you access it on your phone, the same document, and you can continue working. That's the great thing about Microsoft 365. Very flexible like that. So that's quite fun. All right, so let's have some fun then with the app itself. So Unit 4, we come and show you, and I show you all the different settings you can play around with in the course. And what we can do here is using the scan function. Okay, so the first one I'm going to do is I'm going to open the app. So let me put the app over here. I'm going to open the app, give it a few seconds. Let me see, where is the document that I can use? I'm going to use my diary, probably a good option. Okay, so the scan app, guys, is basically going to just do that. It's going to do a scan for you. So this is useful if you have to scan an exam paper, right? And then you're going to need to obviously upload it onto MyUnisa. So this app can actually help you with the scanning side of things. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the little guy in the top corner over there, and then I'm going to go to Create. All right. Okay, so then you'll see there's some general images that pop up. So just for the record's sake, I do not know who this lady is. I always tell my wife that. I don't know the person, so she mustn't whack me on the head or anything. So generally, it's just got some AI images that it generates just by fun, because that's the image option that it's selected. So that's just fun, guys. So don't panic if some lady pops up over there, right? Or guy in your case. So I'm going to look at the second option there called Scan. So I'm going to zap Scan. And then my phone is going to go into scan mode. I'm just going to use my diary quickly because there's a nice text document. So I'm pretending this is a tutorial letter maybe. And I can just hit the import button. And there we go. So now it takes a scan of the image. Okay, let's say this document I need to read through it. I'm going to travel in the Gautrain. And I'm not going to use my laptop. I'm just going to use my phone. And I can scan this and I can use it while I travel. So let's have a look at this little menu over here. So this little guy allows me to rotate. The second guy allows me to take a new image if the first image didn't come out very clearly, or I can even maximize it. So you'll see you've got these little balls over here, though it takes a bit of practice. So you can basically say, I don't need the bottom piece, but I do need this top piece. So I can crop it basically. I just want this information. I don't need this bottom piece. And maybe even on top over here. I can also move this down because I don't want to have this part here, just this information. And then you can take many pictures as you want. So you just hit this button, take another scan, and basically follow the same step. So you can practice this actually if you ever need to use this for your exams. Then I can click on Review and Edit. And now you'll see it gives you a whole different menu over here. So the first one it's going to give me is the cropping tool where I can resize it, just exactly what I did now, but it's the same tool. All right, then the second option allows me to ink. In other words, let's say I have no idea what faith this is. I'm just going to highlight this. This is part of something I need to maybe do some research on, or this date I need to do. So you can do some things like this. Different colors, like, oh, this is important. Okay, I'm using my mouse. That's why it's very difficult to do this. Okay, click on it. And then I can put in some text. Ah, flip, and it disappeared too quick. Let me write something here. Okay, something small. Doesn't have to be too big. Something small. Yep, there we go. All right, so there you can see, you can actually make notes on the scan that you've actually just made. Right, and then there's a few other features. You can again rotate, you can delete it if it was terrible, or you can close it itself, so that's fine. Then once you're happy, then you can hit finished. Here's the really cool thing. I love this. You can make it as a photo, or better yet, a PDF. So if this was my assignment or my exam paper, right, I could actually now save this scan as a PDF. I do recommend original, okay? Medium, small, you don't want to change the quality of the picture. Otherwise, if it's an exam, for example, it might be harder to read. So keep it on original, it's fine. And then I can save it to my phone, I can save it to my OneDrive, I can share it to my email as well, and upload it onto the exam platform as an example, or wherever you needed to do it. Right, and then I can just save it. Let me just save it to my phone, and there we go. Right, and that's it. Then I've done a scan, I've made some notes. It's a nice way to study as I'm moving along. So that's the first tool that you can use. So scanning, quite nice. Extracting. Now, extracting is a little bit different because scan takes a picture of everything, right? Even though we can make some notes. Now we can use extract. So let me move across. You'll see it's the bottom menu here at the bottom. Go all the way to the dot, dot, dot. And you'll see right at the bottom, you've got extract. Now let's see what extract does. I'm going to click on it. Again, it's going to open my camera, or you can import an image that you've already taken. So that's also quite nice. So for example, this is my Jewish holidays. Let me focus on Jewish holidays. I'm going to need this for an assignment for whatever reason. Maybe I'm doing religious studies and I need this. I take a picture. Now you'll see the nice thing is AI is all working. Now look, it's going to pick up all this text, right? I can even hit the translate button. Let's see what languages it gives me. Translate this to. It can't even translate for me. Why? Is it the internet where I am, or is it some other issue maybe? Can't translate right now. That's interesting. Okay, I'll try that one again later on. But try it out. Sometimes it gives you different languages. Unfortunately, not all the languages of South Africa. I think isiZulu is the only one that I saw. And Afrikaans as well. So then I can say copy. Now it's on my clipboard. Now it's only extracting this information. Now, of course, I know I've got Microsoft Word, right? So I click on my dot, dot, dot. I go to Microsoft Word. And then I can actually just paste it in here. And there we go. So instead of me typing all this stuff up, now I've got all the text just like that. And I've got all these holidays done. Now, obviously, some of the stuff I didn't need. So I can just go delete these ones just like you would normally do using your keypad. And there we go. So for example, there we go. We've extracted some text. So you guys could actually go to your tutorial letters, see some information that you need, extract it, stick it into Microsoft Word, and then you can make some study notes as well. So that's quite useful. So quite a nice feature, right? Right, then the last feature that we show you here is dictate. Now, this is also a great feature, especially if you're going to be traveling and you want to make some notes for yourself. So again, you're going to click on this little guy, go to create. I think I need to exit this one first because it's still picking up me in Microsoft Word and I don't want to save it. Okay, there we go. I'm going to go to dictate. So what will happen is it opens this little document and then you see the microphone opens as well. Okay, the graph side you're going to have to go play with because I think you need some data there. So the graphs one is a feature, but you need to give it some data, then it creates a graph for you. But that one we're not covering yet. That will be in Masterclass number 3. Okay, then you've got this little mic button. If you hit this mic button, now what it does is it starts listening to you. So now it's using your phone's microphone. So now, in other words, I can go to my study notes. And like, for example, okay, I'm going to do my study notes on economics 1501. The module is about business functions and tax. In this module, we are looking at the tax function, 15% of goods sold that I need to calculate. And then, you follow your notes. You basically make up as you're speaking, whatever you're speaking about. All right. And then once you're done, you hit the little record button again, the microphone button, and then it basically saves it for you, what you've been speaking to it. So it can record what you're saying, but here's the really fun part. Once it's got this information, and I click on finish, right, then I can click on my little folder. You'll see it right on the top right side. Whenever you create something, it's the quickest way to find it. You just click on this folder, go to the top. There's my scan document I just did. There it is. I can open what I've just saved. Right, give it a few seconds because it's already on my OneDrive. That's why it's so nice to have OneDrive where you plug everything into. Just going to give it some time because I think the internet's a bit slow. Okay, still trying to get through. Okay, maybe give it a few seconds more. I might have just... Okay, let's try again. Yeah, please do upload. If it really wants to upload the script. Oh boy. Oh, that's just a few text files, text, so it shouldn't take too long. Yeah, that's one thing with technology, guys. You always have to be patient. Just give it a few seconds. Yes, and on Android, you can check out your settings and apps, then permissions. Yes, that's also fine. You can do it that way. Probably doesn't take this long because you can see it's 33 seconds, so it's not a really long file. It should be quite quick. Okay, I see it is busy doing something. Can't upload. What internet am I connected to? Wait. Let me check quickly that. Oh, that's why. I figured it out. I'm connected on UNISA Wi-Fi, and that's got restrictions. Let's try again. I just switched on my data. Now it made sense why it wasn't doing what it should do. And that's probably why the translate function wasn't working. It's because of the internet connection I'm here in the campus. Because remember, my phone is using its own one, not the laptop's one. Yes, you can use or always use. That's fine. That's actually a good option. Because then it just makes it easier. It doesn't have to pop up every time you want to use it. Okay, I just want to check my Wi-Fi because I think it's still on. Let me switch up Finis events. Let me just run data. Let's see if that works better. Because it definitely did capture it. It's just not giving me access to it. Okay, all right, let's try this trick. I don't know why it's giving me such a hard time. Let's go back to create. To dictate. Let me just try again. Because now I've switched over to data. All right, today's lesson is about Economics 1501. I'm making study notes on the business acquisition topic, where we need to calculate the purchase and sale agreement and their tax, for example. All right, let me not say too much, because I do see it is capturing it quite slowly, though. Let's try again and see this time, did it capture it correctly? Yeah. All right, there we go. Yeah, no, Lynn, take your time. That's the thing with technology. You can't rush it. It just does its own thing, especially with the internet here. Okay, let's have a see. Capture now. Still trying to upload. Yeah, this thing's taught us slow today. This one is about Economics 1501. I'm making study notes on the business acquisition topic, where we need to calculate the purchase and sub. Okay, so there you can see it's actually running the video. Well, it's just not giving me the upload option, but it can actually play it. I can hear myself. You guys could hear me again. It's just not giving us the text. So yeah, So give it a try, guys. It might just be the network where I'm in that it's actually having this issue, or it's a general issue maybe. I don't know, but probably most likely it's internet connectivity issue. But there you can hear it. It is playing it back. I think it is my network. It's definitely, I've switched over to date and it's still a bit sluggish. I can see the bars are almost not even there. But yeah, there we go. So that's how you'd use Dictate. But please go try this out for yourself on your device. See how you can use this for your studies, because definitely there are quite a number of ways you could use it, and it'll make your studies a lot easier, especially if you know you're going to be traveling and you can have some study materials with you as well. All right, so at the end of the course, guys, please make sure you do the course evaluation, put in your, but that's after you've gone through the actual course, not just what with me today. And let us know if there's areas that you would really want us to have for Masterclass number 3. Try to do it very quickly because we started the process already of actually getting Masterclass number 3's topics lined up and what we're going to be covering. It's going to be really fun. We're going to show you some different technologies, not just Microsoft. And we're going to see how you can use those to enhance your studies and be able to navigate the whole learning online platform. So I hope you guys have had fun. I hope it's been an enjoyable session. Yep, we were scheduled for 1 o'clock, but we do understand students need to get busy with a lot of other things, especially studying, and we don't want you to be online for the whole time. So please do complete the course, have fun with it. You can post questions if you've got questions there as well. Our mailbox, if you don't have it, I'm going to put it in the chat for you. Yeah, I wonder what's happening. It seems like everything's a bit slow, but there is my email. So just pop me an email, psiwele, if you're having some technical issues, then we can see where the problem is, or if it's just, in fact, everybody's on the website now, hoping to get my exam training done already. Otherwise, guys, have a wonderful day further. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate your time. Thank you for interaction. It was really fun. We had a good fun time with you guys, and we'll be looking forward to you joining tomorrow. We'll send out an SMS as well for AI. AI is also awesome. You're going to learn a lot of cool stuff from Richard, and we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. So have a wonderful day for that. And if it's raining out there, please stay safe as well. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.